Now, Bert,
Now, Ryan.
I gotta tell you, I have had now two people, which, given our listenership, is a very large.
It's a high percentage.
It's a big number. R.E. The Doors episode.
Yes.
Say that they can't believe, out of all of the things we referenced and all of the sound clips we dropped, that we didn't do the Kids in the Hall skit. Which, by the way,
I sent
to you.
Especially
as much as we complain about greatest hits albums.
Yes.
So, fans, if this makes it into the before chatter, Bert, drop it in right now.
Rate and go.
So what about you?
Well, I heard a record of theirs last night at a party.
Yeah?
And I've always liked Love Her Madly.
Well, if you become a Doors fan, Love Her Madly is the only song you won't like.
All right. I guess I should start with their greatest hits?
Hey! Greatest hits albums are for housewives and little girls. You're not serious. You don't want to be a Doors fan. Get out of my store.
And that was Bruce McCullough talking about the Doors and making fun of greatest hits albums. Fans, you're welcome. I made it happen for you. Actually, there's even a comment, I believe, on our YouTube about it. So,
I'll be honest with you. I don't check the YouTube account as often as I should.
Well, there you go, fans. If you are enjoying the show and you like YouTube, F off. Bert don't care.
AKA.
Hey, that's
no, it's not that. It's that there are 11 subscribers on YouTube and on Spotify and on Apple and a couple of other platforms. There's like 30 or 40 a piece. So I don't pay as much attention to YouTube because there's only 11. Give me a dozen, then talk to me.
They don't count. Noted. Hey, Drew.
4 of them are probably us.
I had a question for you, Whiskey Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about your whiskey, although I'm going to tell you right now before we get started, microphone working, you sound sexy. You sound
Thank you,
good.
man. I've got big plans for season 3, by the way, but we're gonna go out right.
You sound so good you could beat me off.
Hey.
Your Liz is awesome. She said, "This is it. This is the best episode of the podcast. So many great nuggets, so many good rabbit holes, correct pronunciation of Aquemini."
Oh, that's for a different episode, but yes.
Oh, was that? Oh, yeah, it was Low End Theory. Yep. You're right. You're right.
That was a good episode.
The one where I was missing.
Well, I think that's why it was her favorite.
Take the hint, Drew. God.
Drew,
I've always had the feeling she's not fond of me.
That is 100% untrue. But what? So your son-in-law has a beef with me?
Yeah, David, I'm calling you out because he has diverted twice now from coming on and talking with us about our treatment of Jack White. And
let's go, buddy. Come on, bring it on.
He's not lacking courage. He's in a busy time, had a big move, doing a lot of things. But I told him, just come on and put on the gloves and just let's go.
A new challenger approaches.
Ding, ding, ding. He's coming. We'll make it happen.
All right, look, dude, I am ready to defend my dislike of Jack White. Also, I would like to say the rest of the pod liked it, so don't take it out on them.
Yeah.
Man.
And also, I don't
was a
even
straight
remember
line
what our
middle.
conversation was because how many albums ago was that?
Yes, true. That's true. But I probably was kinder. I was in a more kind zone then. But with that thing, I remember being right in the middle, and I think he was personally affected by things that I had said too. So we'll find out when he joins us.
I continue to be personally affected by many things you've said as well.
Yeah, most people are.
That was 14 albums ago.
Most people are.
I mean, I was still a teenager when we recorded that one.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I didn't need Geritol when we started this.
We didn't get to do this last time either. This is important. I know everyone's chomping at the bit to get into Oasis. Drew and I had a chance to meet up in Chautauqua in the beginning of June. I got to hold in my grubby, slimy hands the poster. He brought it with him, and I got to see it with all
Why?
of its
You guys should have
holes.
taken a picture. We could have posted
Well,
that
he
up
said
on
that.
the-
He mentioned that post. But Drew, do you have it nearby?
Oh,
I'd like you.
there it is.
There was something that I read in the lower left corner that is a poster secrets
Secrets of the poster.
Literally.
that Drew. When I read it, I looked at you. I was like, "Say what now?"
Oh, please tell me it has reference to where it's made.
And then I said, "Oh, I didn't read that part."
Really?
We need a drum roll or something. Like,
I'm waiting for like Drew to flip the camera off.
Are you
Just be like, it says this.
are you talking about the Stevie Wonder quote? Music is a world within itself. It's
No.
a language we all understand. Straight out of
No.
Sir Duke.
The one, maybe it's on the other corner.
Other corner.
It's the one that describes what the poster is about.
Can you guys read it?
No.
There.
yeah.
Probably not. Okay. Even Elvis had to clear his throat. Every one of these albums is a wonderfully crafted piece of art. Please take your time and enjoy every minute of these masterpieces.
Okay,
Boss!
Ryan, there's no corners left, bro.
that was it. Let that sink
Okay.
in, guys. These masterpieces.
All right, I disagree.
Well, you didn't make the post. This is from the creator. Okay.
Yeah. Ryan, you were really, I mean, he like rebooted for a while that day. He's like, wait a
I
minute.
did.
So I think it really just epiphanized to him that this creator or the multitude of creators consider these all masterpieces. Be all
Okay.
end all.
So, in the research that I've done, that poster originated in England.
I would
Oh.
wager heavy guess on that.
The opinion of the creator is that of a European.
Well, he's no Tim McGraw.
Well played. Well played.
Hey, speaking of, let's get into today's turkey cutlet. What do you say?
I will say this:
Uh,
we've got we found out when Ryan and I reviewed this that I'd never scratched off
The final two.
the final two. I won't even name them right now, but we
Yeah,
realized
you don't want to spoil it.
that was the last two, and I guess I was done. So we can scratch those off live.
Well, we did. It's probably you threw the darts though, right?
He didn't have to.
Oh, because they were the last two. You didn't
Right.
have
That was
So,
it.
yeah. So you
That
was
was
like,
it.
okay, here are your final two, and then like we kind of were done with it.
Dartless.
Yeah,
Dartless, pointless.
starless.
Hey, are you guys ready to do this?
I'm almost ready. I just want to know what the brown is that Drew's sipping on there.
Jameson.
Ah,
It,
yes.
it really rarely would be anything else.
Didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I'm a simple kind of Irishman.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, so let's to the show. 100.
I'm Bert,
I'm Drew.
I'm Ron.
I'm Ryan.
and this is the 100 Albums podcast, where we discuss the ins, the outs, and the absurdities of a poster depicting 100 seemingly random albums. Hey guys,
What's
So-
up?
slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to pod? Brought it back. I brought it back.
I love when you always put it in there.
And here we are at album number 40, the final album in season 2. As we continue going through the 100 albums that we were just talking about a minute ago on that poster that Lisa got for Drew a couple of years ago. We first went through this whole thing. We listened to 2 albums a week and then shared our thoughts and reactions with each other via video chat. Once we were all done, we thought it might be a fun project to turn into a podcast. So let's get into this week's album, What's the Story, Morning Glory by Oasis. But before we dive into the rundown, I think it's worth noting the Britpop connection here. Since last week, we talked about Blur
Sure
their
did.
album Park Life.
Confidence is a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as.
And now we're talking about Oasis. But how does that all happen? How is it that we got 100 albums on this poster and we got two British Britpop bands back to back?
Battling.
The magic of the darts.
Battling Britpop bands.
That coincidentally Drew threw darts at, and they got next to each other.
Now, Drew, do you have the poster? How far apart are they from each other on the poster? Just so fans can get an idea. This is, remember, 100 albums in a grid on a poster. What are the odds here? I mean, how far apart are they in terms of, is it a knight's move away on a chessboard, or what are we looking at here?
Looking for them here. This is a lot to look through.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit because you're the one with
Park
the
Life
poster.
Park Life has the dogs on it. And what's the story?
Point. Yeah, if you remember. Okay, here's Oasis.
Okay.
Let's see. Row 2, aisle going down 4.
Hmm?
In Park Life, dog, you say?
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Row 8, aisle going down 10. So
they're pretty far apart.
Yeah, pretty far apart.
They're a shock apart. They are a shock apart.
So listeners, in your mind's eye, if you picture a poster that's kind of set up like a grid, like Drew's describing here, each week Drew would take two darts. He hung the poster on the wall of his barn.
You can see the holes.
You can see the holes. There you go, perforation. And each week he would take two darts and throw each one, and whatever the two albums that those darts hit were the two albums we were going to listen to that week. And this week, when we were doing the original listen on the poster, we got Oasis and Blur back to back, which was just kind of interesting. Which at the time I didn't really think much of it, but now having gone through,
the universe was trying to make a thing of it, just like it did in the 90s. I think this is really, it speaks to the controversy of both bands existing simultaneously.
Yeah.
My takeaway is that I need to take these darts and just start throwing them around everywhere, and whatever they stick to must mean something, be it alive or not.
Magic darts.
Like reading tea leaves.
It hits your neighbor.
Yeah, like dowing rods, but it's darts, dowing darts.
If you had those darts on you, you could have made all of the episodes because you would have been able to deflate the hot air balloon that abducted you.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
They can fix this.
Okay, well, hey, back to it. Vibe check, guys. What are your first impressions of Oasis? What's the story, Morning Glory?
This album absolutely confuses the shit out of me. It is everything I should love. And, spoiler alert, I don't love it. It's got guitars. It's got loud guitars. It's got good sounding guitars. It's got simple songs that I can learn to play because I'm not that fucking good. There's a correlation between this album and Bob Dylan for me.
Ron, I hope you have a guitar within grasp, because I stupidly didn't bring one out. And we need to hear Wonderwall at some point tonight. So either I'm going to get up or you're going to just do it.
No. I don't want to be like that kid at the Green Day show who got up to play and then played Oasis.
I love that. let's revisit that later in the pod, because it doesn't look like Bert or Ryan saw that article.
I haven't watched it yet. I saw it come in, but I haven't seen it. I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I agree with Ron a lot. This was an emotional roller coaster, more so that's the second time through.
I definitely spent more time on it this time, largely because I have historically not enjoyed Oasis. And, I'm always looking to do the work on this and try to get it in my ears and get an appreciation for things, and I've landed on the other side of it this week with a meh.
I liked it. I like it. I liked it then. I like it now. I think that what I find really interesting about the the first time on the poster, I was more familiar with Oasis than I. So, full disclosure, you're going to hear a lot of comparisons from me this week, comparing Blur and Oasis.
You'll be the first to do so.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But when we first did the poster, I wasn't as familiar with Blur. Blur was new to me. I had more familiarity with Oasis, and I really liked Parklife, like as we talked about. So I like this album. I like Oasis, but not as much as Blur, as much as Parklife. I feel like the first impressions that I have from the re-listen are that I like Blur better. I think that Oasis doesn't do the pop aspect of Britpop as well as Blur does. Oasis has what I wrote in my notes as a gloomier sound. That's probably not the greatest descriptor, but like it's a darker. I'm feeling more minor chords and stuff like that instead of a little more kind of that happier vibe that I got from Blur. But I still enjoyed the album, still enjoyed the songs. There's only a couple of songs on the album that I'm like, meh. But so that's where I am.
Well, this could make for a good conversation, potentially.
Yes.
Maybe. Not that we've ever had good conversations on this podcast.
No, it's a rarity.
And listeners, if you're not interested in that, then you can just stop the podcast now, because this is about to get real.
It almost sounded like the intro to The Real World.
If you don't like it, go home.
What happens when four dudes listen to music and start talking?
True story.
All right, one hand hitting another hand makes a great sound. Let's put it together for Bert in today's rundown.
That's right. Hey, let's talk a little bit about background. Oasis. In 1991, bassist Paul McGuigan, guitarist Paul Arthurs, drummer Tony McCarroll, and singer Chris Hutton formed a band called The Rain. Unsatisfied with Chris Hutton as a singer, Arthurs invited and auditioned an acquaintance he had named Liam Gallagher as a potential replacement. Liam suggested the band name be changed to Oasis, inspired by an Inspiral Carpets tour poster in the childhood bedroom he shared with his brother Noel, which listed the Oasis Leisure Center in Swindon as a venue at which the band played. So they changed their name to Oasis, played their first gig on August 14th, 1991 at the Boardwalk Club in Manchester. They were the bottom of the bill, below the Catchmen and Sweet Jesus. Noel was working as a roadie for the Inspiral Carpets, went with them to watch Liam's band play. Noel was impressed with what he saw. He approached the group about joining the band. The catch was that Noel had to be the primary songwriter and leader, and that they would commit to becoming a mainstream success as a group. So now you've got your classic lineup: Liam Gallagher on vocals, Noel Gallagher, lead guitar, vocals, and the band leader. Paul Arthurs on guitars, Paul McGuigan on bass, and Tony McCarroll on drums. After over a year of live shows, rehearsals, and recording a demo, the live demonstration tape, in May 1993, Oasis were spotted by the Creation Records co-owner Alan McGee. Oasis were invited to play a gig at King Tut's Wawa Hut Club in Glasgow by the band's sister lovers, who shared their rehearsal rooms. The Oasis was given the opening slot, and they impressed McGee, the Creation Records co-owner, who was there to see 18 Wheeler and Sister Lovers. McGee offered Oasis a recording contract on the spot. However, due to problems securing the American rights, Oasis signed a worldwide deal with Sony, which in turn licensed Oasis to Creation Records in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, Bert, I actually listened to a podcast through the BBC called The Rise and Fall of Oasis. Did anyone else listen to that this week?
No.
So there's conflicting stories on that moment in Glasgow, as well as just I want listeners to get the wrong idea about how the brothers joined up, because there was actually interviews in this podcast from them. And when he joined the band, it wasn't just about the songwriting. They were having a hard time nailing down like some really good songs.
Yeah.
And so they knew he would be able to help in that regard. But he also, because of his profession, knew the ins and outs of the industry and knew people that they could help them. And he brought in a work ethic that was needed to become a successful band. In Glasgow, according to the band, they drove all that way and they're only going to take so many bands, and they were told they couldn't play because there's too many bands. They wouldn't let them play. It's like, sorry, we're not going to do it. And they begged, said, hey, we drove all this way. Can't we just play a couple of songs? They went on stage. The person you mentioned, who was clearly there to see the bands that were under his own label,
Right.
their story is he missed his train and he popped in there to have a beer and happened to catch them, and the Goldilocks moment happened.
Yeah, right. The
So-
light shone down.
Which I think is an overall theme for Oasis, is that their version of events may not be grounded in reality.
Or differs from a more mainstream account.
Right.
That's polite. That's polite.
Well, let's see. Noel was on Hot Ones and did the whole Wings thing. His account of that is he did some strong arming because they weren't going to be allowed to play, and he pretty much threatened the guy to get on the stage. When they walked off, they were like, hey, you want a record deal? I'll sign you right now. Which, yeah.
So on the same podcast, they mentioned that the club's account is that they called and said, hey, we got one more band that really wants to play. He's like, well, do they want to be paid? He goes, no. He's like, then who cares? So put them on.
Yeah, right. So Oasis released their debut album, Definitely Maybe, in August 1994. At the time, it was the fastest selling debut album in England. Nearly a year of constant live performances and recordings, along with a quote-unquote rock star lifestyle, it began to take a toll on the band. This came to a head during a September 1994 show in Los Angeles. Liam, most likely under the influence, gave a pretty bad performance on stage, made comments about American audiences that lots of Americans in particular found offensive. He also hit Noel with a tambourine while on stage. Noel quit the band and flew to San Francisco. Eventually, the brothers worked things out and the tour resumed. But this is where I think it's like, okay, there's definitely some things happening, some interpersonal dynamics that are happening between not just the brothers, but like the people in their orbit, right? Oasis began recording material for their second album in May 1995 at Rockfield Studios in Wales. As the work on their sophomore album began, the British press seized upon an alleged rivalry between Oasis and another popular band at the time, Blur. Remember those guys? In August 1995, Blur and Oasis released singles on the exact same day, feeding into the quote-unquote battle of Britpop that started to gain steam, particularly in British news. In September 1995, in an interview with The Observer, Noel Gallagher said, quote, I hate that Alex and Damon, the guys from Blur. I hope they catch AIDS and die.
Oh, shit.
Dang.
Later, he formally apologized. In
Very
a public
90s, a very 90s slam.
Oh, man. He then formally apologized, sent a public letter to a variety of publications, and in that letter he said, quote, as soon as I had said it, I realized that it was an insensitive thing to say, as AIDS is no joking matter, and immediately retracted the comment. Although not being a fan of their music, I wish both Damon and Alex a long and healthy life.
Uh-huh.
Side note. And Ron, do you remember what the date is on this article that you sent me?
No.
It's recent. I'll have to look it up and put it in the show notes. But just recently, Damon Albarn.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah, it was like 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's like really recent. He's conceded defeat in an interview with The Sun during Oasis's recent 5-night run in Manchester. Albarn said, quote, Well, it was obvious, wasn't it? I think we can officially say that Oasis won the battle, the war, the campaign, everything. They are the winners. They take first place. In the face of such overwhelming evidence, I am happy to accept and concede defeat. It's their summer, and God bless them. I hope everyone has a wonderful time.
Oh man, we make light of it, but in the research I did, it was such a big deal that they actually would broadcast it on the local news. They would talk about what were the top songs or top band, of the week, and they'd pause and be like, okay, well, one of them is number one, and one of them is number two. Who's going to get it? And Oasis kept getting the number two.
And that's what I found too, is I was reading about this again, being, and maybe it's because we're in the States and it wasn't as much of it was more of a British thing, right? I was aware of both bands. I was aware that they were popular. I was aware of this music, but I was not really aware that there was this rivalry or this thing that was going on. So yeah, I found that really interesting the more that I dug into it. So
Well, you had mentioned that they had released singles on the same day.
mm-hmm.
I want to say it was Blur that actually withheld releasing singles until it was the day that Oasis did it. So there was there was planning on both bands' parts about that.
And Oasis's choice for their single is really interesting. Did you guys hear that?
It was I didn't write it. I saw it in the research. I didn't jot it down.
So like "Roll With It" was one of the ones.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me because obviously on this album, there's 3 very well-known hits, which I'm sure we'll talk about. That's not one of them.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
I like that song, but
Yeah.
we can talk about that too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't put it up against something arguably better, would you? On purpose?
I mean, I don't think they knew, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and who knows what the
That speaks to
the
actually
labels were doing and their decisions, and
that speaks to a concern I have with this record for sure. But that also with that whole thing about the rivalry, it's another revelry that could come out of this. We talk about these feuds in almost every episode. Somebody's got beef with someone else. And maybe that's been a running undercurrent throughout music history.
Poster secret?
I'm thinking a universal secret, but who knows? Maybe it is a secret to the poster.
In defense of "Roll With It," and I realize we're not even there onto that spot of the podcast yet. I don't care. The songs that became the hits essentially are ballads. Some are anthemic in nature, but they are ballads. And I think if you're going to come off of their first album, swinging punches, the first thing you throw out into the world is not going to be a ballad.
Yeah.
Not in 1995.
Yeah, I mean, reason would definitely lead you that way, but also in 1995, as per another, I didn't send this out, but there's an old College Humor video where this guy's like saying how to play guitar so you can get laid, and that was a whole premise, and the whole thing is about learning Wonderwall on the guitar because those stupid ballads, one after another back then, were just hitting so hard. There was a lot of ballads going on then. So that had to have been some of their train of thought.
So back on track.
Oh, were we off track?
Let's talk about this album specifically, the production of What's the Story Morning Glory, released on October 2nd, 1995. Ronald?
Aye, Captain. All right. So, What's the Story Morning Glory was recorded in June of 1995 at Rockfield Studios in Wales on the Creation Records label. Many other bands recorded at Rockfield Studios, including Black Sabbath and Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody was also recorded there. However, not in the same studios. All the big bands were done in the big studio in the big house. These guys were out back in a studio called The Coaches. Was the biggest British album of that decade, selling 5 million copies in the UK, 22 million worldwide. Initially, the studio was booked for 6 weeks, but recording was completed in 12 days. Due to the band not knowing the songs and there not being any demos, Noel had to record a single guitar and scratch vocal to a click track, and then the rest of the band laid their tracks over it, starting with drums, with Noel telling them what to record. Now, throughout this, their original drummer, Tony McCarroll, it just wasn't working out. So they brought in another guy, Alan White, and he finished it out. What's the Story? Morning Glory was Oasis's breakthrough in the U.S., reaching number 4 on U.S. Billboard 200 and being certified platinum 4 times by the RIAA. Album yielded 4 major hit singles. Some might say Don't Look Back and Anger both reached number 1. Roll With It and Wonderwall peaked at number 2. The latter has emerged as the band's biggest selling UK hit, spending 30 consecutive weeks on the chart. Champagne Supernova and Wonderwall reached number 1 on the Billboard Alternative Songs chart. And at the 1996 Brit Awards, the album won Best British Album. So, 12 days they recorded this. On day 1, they did Roll With It. Day 2, they did Hello. Day 3, they did Wonderwall. Now, outside the studio, there's a stone wall. And so Noel thought it would be a really good idea to record the acoustic guitar sitting on a wall, later acknowledging it was not the brightest idea. It's a big wall. But so they recorded that outside with him literally sitting on a wall.
How romantic.
It's a wonder.
Wall. Day 4, they did Don't Talk Back in Anger. Day 5, they did Champagne Supernova. And then on day 5, Noel and their producer were going back doing some mixes. And the rest of the band, because Noel is the primary songwriter and the rest of the band didn't have anything to do, they went to the local pub and got drunk and invited all their newest friends back to the studio, which pissed Noel off, leading to a big old fight where doors got broken and a cricket bat was wielded at someone's head. And so they took a break for 10 days, came back and recorded the rest of the album with 1 song per day. Per note, Noel, quote, "You can really tell a difference between the 2 sets, with a lot of the newer ones having repeated verses as there wasn't time to finish them." So big difference there.
That explains a lot of my issues with this.
We're coming up on the rest of my issues as well.
It's like therapy.
Okay, so talking about gear, I'm going to try and plug one of those holes that you identified there, Ryan. So there was a Kurzweil that was used for all the strings parts, a Mellotron. The bass was a Fender Telecaster bass, and it was recorded live and through a DI. The guitars was an Epiphone Riviera. I got to say, this dude has great choice in freaking gear. I'm so jealous. A 1960s Les Paul, a Strat, an Epiphone Frontier acoustic, a 1963 Vox AC30 that he bought off the Hollies that was a house amp for the Beatles when they first started in the Cavern Club.
Wow.
I know, right?
So wait. So you're telling me there was a Beatles influence on these guys?
only in the gear, not in songwriting or not in career path.
Or
it was
lyrics.
only in gear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they didn't directly pull a line off Lennon or a chord change or nothing like that. It was only about the gear. And then for drums, it was like a Gretsch kit, a Ludwig kit, a Rogers kit. They also used an Eventide DSP 4000 harmonizer for pitch correction. This was the precursor to Auto-Tune. And so back in the day, that's what they used to clean that stuff. Now, here comes my big beef with this album that we'll dive into later. The mastering of this album, they used it on the ass end of the album before that, and I didn't write down the title.
Definitely, maybe.
There you go. So it was a new technique called brick wall mastering, where they would use the soft limiting feature on the Apogee AD500. And then there's a whole bunch of terms that I don't understand, but basically they would push this piece of equipment, and instead of having high peaks and valleys, it would compress it, but then they would amplify it. And it makes this album sound louder than most normal albums and CDs of the time. So that way, if it was on a jukebox, it would be louder than any other CD on there. This became a very popular technique later in production and almost became a standard. Now, it also created some contention because audiophiles and people who like dynamics were like, this is bullshit. I want it to be open. I want to hear those dynamics. Whereas some people just like the sound of it and it being loud. There's a couple tracks on this album that you can, at least I think I can tell that, because everything is so fucking loud and just in your face. And
it lacks depth, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
and I don't
like
it.
Especially on the low end.
The whole, that's the whole purpose of the compressor limiter. They squish the actual waves down to a mid zone, and then they can turn up that whole, and it looks like it does. It looks like just a line.
Like a big brick.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it's not a line. It's just the whole damn screen.
Yeah, and it's, you can hear it in the sound for
solid.
sure. There's a lot going on. I wanted to appreciate the nuances, but they're all happening at the same time, at the same level of.
And this was happening in the U.S.
intensity.
too. I mean, at the same time period, like I'm thinking of the Aerosmith album with the cow.
Get a grip.
Yeah, and it's so bricked out across the middle so that it would be perfectly played on radio without any fluctuation in dynamics. And it's the same idea of just overproduced nonsense.
I never thought about that album with that. It makes sense. It's everywhere. I mean, you can actually hear it, and we'll talk about this album later on the poster. But Pearl Jam's 10, to some aspects, has it. It happens that early in the culture that people are really, I mean, if you want to talk about how radio influences the way things are produced, it goes back decades and decades prior to that. But here we are using technology to really hyper focus that, as you're mentioning, Ron.
Well, have any of you ever hung out with a guitar player before?
Just Ron.
No, they're fucking pricks.
Yeah. Well,
nothing like a bass player.
The guitar player's, truth to life is I have to have my guitar amp, Ron, fill in the blank, on, or else I won't get the full.
These go to 11.
Yes, or else I won't get the full spectrum of what I can do here. And so, if they were recording that way, they have to compress. To handle it. And it's a huge secret of recording, but like everything, it can be overdone. And if you just do it on the whole track, you're just smushing everything together. That's the problem with MP3s that nobody alive underneath the age of, 40, without caring about it, would even be able to acknowledge. I didn't mean that as an ageist comment, actually, but we're just so used to MP3s now. You rarely hear anything else.
But you can just trash guitars. That's cool, Drew. I understand.
Hey, I've never hid behind the fact that I'm a monitor pig, but I never wonder what it sounds like coming out. Well, I do wonder what it sounds like coming out of the house. That's why I got tinnitus.
Drew, that should be the name of your next album.
Monitor pig.
Monitor pig.
That's a true. Yes.
Good
I
band
like
name.
that. I like
Direct
that.
cause for my tinnitus is my keyboard monitors.
That's another good name. Direct cause for my tinnitus.
Draw the lines. Draw the lines.
I mean, hey, we'll start a list. What else you got, Ron?
The last thing I got is Paul Weller, and I didn't know who Paul Weller was, but apparently he was in the Jam. So Ryan, I'm really leaning on you, and Bert, you're shaking your head. You guys can tell me who the hell they were, because I'm gonna feel bad when you tell me. But he played the solo on Champagne Supernova, did some backing vocals, and also played harmonica. I think on Swamp Song,
Which one?
the one with the harmonica on it.
There were instruments in those. Do-do-do.
But that's pretty much all I have on this album, unless we want to get into pedal.
I just have to mention really quickly, Paul Weller of the Jam. There's a Jam album on the poster, Ron. So
fuck
you're
off,
gonna
for
get
real?
to experience. Yeah, you're gonna get to experience
Ooh, you're right.
Oh man,
all mod cons. All mod cons.
Yes. One of the ones I had never, ever, ever heard of.
I want to point out before we kind of finish the overarch that their debut album was so strong that when this album, which I think is results in ratings of Not Us, would argue is the bigger album, it had some pretty mixed reviews when it came out because it was so unlike the first album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot, I read in Spin Magazine, Chuck Eddy said that they had a skewed Bowie glitter. David Stubbs of Melody Maker described the album as labored and lazy. I mean, people were not necessarily sold on this immediately.
And I think I read too that there was concern. I don't know if it was from the label or from the band themselves, but there was concern that it was not going to perform as well as Definitely Maybe had performed. So yeah, that's interesting, Ryan. And then it took off. So
name me a hit off of Definitely Maybe.
I don't think they're. Hold on a second.
I'm just curious. I cannot conjure one up here, so
I'm trying and I can't.
Not slamming Oasis. I'm just trying to place it, but
I will say after listening to this,
maybe that one didn't reach the US.
Yeah, check out Definitely Maybe.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I'm not seeing any songs that jump out as, hey, this was a hit.
Yeah, I mean,
in the States anyway. I don't
that's
know.
what I think. We certainly weren't and aren't connoisseurs of all, but right. I remember very well Wonderwall dropping and having never heard of Oasis before. So
yeah,
well, there was we had a lot of internal big hitters happening at that time.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. We did. Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, let's talk about context a little bit here. So Oasis has 7 studio albums. The aforementioned Definitely Maybe in 1994, What's the Story, Morning Glory in 1995, Be Here Now in 1997, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants in 2000, Heathen Chemistry in 2002, Don't Believe the Truth 2005, and Dig Out Your Soul in 2008. Ron already covered all the chart stuff, so I don't have anything to add there. In terms of record sales, top 5 Oasis records. Let's go. Number 5, Time Flies, a best of record in 2009 that sold 1.65 million. Stop the Clocks, number 4 from 2006, 1.9 million. Definitely Maybe, their debut, 5 million. Be Here Now from 1997, 8 million. And then, of course, the number 1 selling Oasis record is this one, What's the Story, Morning Glory, at 22 million. So, by far and above their best-selling record. I've got a couple of other notable things here before we take a break. Oasis performed back-to-back concerts at the Nebworth Festival on August 10th and 11th, 1996. I found this fascinating. Both shows were sold out in minutes. 2.5 million people tried to get tickets to the show. but each show only held 125,000 people, so 250,000 people over the two night show. However, if every person had been able to get a ticket, they would have had 20 straight sold out shows at this venue at
Jesus.
125,000 a pop.
All because of Wonderwall.
Well, I mean, this feeds into that Beatle thing, which I'm sure we'll get into later. But
Yeah. The other thing I had was an interesting kind of anecdote about the album's cover art. If you look at the cover of What's the Story Morning Glory, you see two guys. You're looking at the back of one and in the front of the other, and they're walking toward one another. So I found an article in Big Issue, an interview with the photographer and graphic designer Brian Cannon. This is from 2014. As intended, it's provoked a few questions in its time, the cover art, such as, which one's Liam Gallagher and which one's Noel? And where the hell are these guys? The answer to the latter question is Berwick Street in London's Soho, a popular location for record shops at the time. The answer to the former question is, it's neither of them. Quote from Brian Cannon, it was supposed to be Liam and Noel, but they cried off, I think because they were pissed from the night before.
running,
Is there an end to this?
That means drunk. In the end, as he set up to shoot around 5 a.m., Cannon himself had to deputize himself as one of the figures in the photo. He's the guy in the beige jacket on the right, alongside another survivor from the previous night's drinking session, London DJ Sean Rowley. You can also spot album producer Owen Morris in the background, holding the record's master tapes over his face. So I thought that was kind of just an interesting little anecdote about how the cover photo was taken. Another thing too, the Brian Cannon, this graphic designer and photographer, I can't remember which other record it was. One of their albums has a Bentley in a pool, and like there's like a scooter in front of it. So anyway, it's not definitely maybe, but it's one of their other records. But the Bentley in the pool is actually a Bentley in a pool. They paid like £75,000
Jeez
to
Louise.
to put this car into the pool in the water and stuff. So anyway,
Yeah, you can depend on them for the photo shoot like you can for a unplugged concert.
Never forget that moment in rock history.
that is what I've got so far for the rundown. Any other thoughts?
This is a just a little jab, but in terms of who did it best, there is a song by the name of Be Here Now by Ray LaMontagne.
Don't let your soul get lonely, child, it's only time it will go by.
And he owns the title, not Oasis. Moving
Oh,
on.
man. Okay. Well, then in that case, Drew, we're going to fight over who has the better song named Hello? I mean, come on. Anyway. But Lionel Richie.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
Moving on.
Yes.
So
go
in
ahead, Ron.
in that episode of Hot Ones, which Bert, if you don't care to put that in the notes, I'll shoot you the link. There are some interesting moments in there. First off, as it pertains to us, Sean Evans asked him about the youth culture and his opinion on some things, and he mentions grime rap as being the new punk rock, and apparently his kid was all about it, and so he has glorious things to say about grime. So worth it on that. The other thing that I was going to talk about, that they ask him about songwriting, and he says, when you start off, you're writing your songs for you and people at your shows. And then when you start getting money, you start getting removed. And so you start looking at like general concepts, life, love, things that are relatable. But once the checks start coming in, you don't write songs for the audience. You now have the fuck you ability to just do whatever you want. And so just him talking about his stages of fame, and this album was the start of the removal process for him, not writing it for the audience. You got some more money, so you go out and you buy dumb shit like a 1967 Jaguar when you don't know how to drive, which he did. And to this day has never driven it per him. He's like, look, I don't drive, but I still have that car. And you buy all the shit you want. So through that Hot Ones, he really does do some cool introspection. Now, definitely has an ego. I mean, that is
No.
I know, right? That's a shocker.
Shocker.
But he's incredibly honest about it. And so the harshness of someone who has a large ego, and especially a lot of the things you hear about him, it almost made it a little bit more endearing to listen to the guy. It was actually quite surprising. So check it out. It's pretty cool. And at the end, he gets lit up with fucking hot wings. So if you don't like him, you're like, ha ha ha, fuck you.
It's tough being that talented. Ugh.
The heavy weight to bear.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do you really think he's that talented?
No, that's
coming up after
almost
this commercial break.
I was just going to say, I think it's time to hear from this week's sponsor.
Well, I almost hate to tell you about this week's sponsor because, last week, also, Britpop, we had a returning sponsor. It didn't go so well. This week, we have a returning sponsor. I'm hoping better.
Fare a little better, yeah.
Okay. But they sent me a copy. I do my job. So here we go, folks. Eucharistos is a proud sponsor of the 100 Albums podcast. Eucharistos, the crispy, craveable flavored cheeses. Get your congregation numbers up by giving them what they really want. Eucharistos. In an effort to attract younger followers of Christ, Eucharistos is announcing new, exciting flavors like blue raspberry, jam and strawberry, original cinnamon, altar boysenberry, holy chip, and Father's Secret, a proprietary blend of sweet seasoning that you won't be able to describe to anyone. You may want to, but you'll be strongly encouraged not to describe it. It's that good. Starting in early August, expect to see these fun flavors available in snack-sized mix packs just in time for back-to-school shopping. Bring the crispy, craveable flavored Jesus to your child's lunchtime this school year with Eucharistos. Remember, there's only one choice when it comes to rejuvenating your congregation's interest in the sacrament of communion. Eucharistos, the crispy, craveable flavored Jesus.
I don't know how they stick with us. How they keep doing business with our small small project.
Return of investment, baby. I, for one, am curious to try the Father's Secret.
Bert's good that he's not drinking it.
Altar boysenberry? That's brilliant.
Oh.
And Rick, you always have to have blue raspberry. It's just, it's not an actual flavor, but it has to be there.
Yes,
and kudos to Eucharistos to knowing that one of the flavors has to be the blue flavor.
All right, guys. It's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. On the re-listen, what did you find was good? What did you find was bad? Or perhaps ugly about What's the Story, Morning Glory?
Well, I've said it before. I love the guitar sounds on this album. I absolutely do. I think they're phenomenal, with the exception of Hello. The wah wah guitar either needs to be buried in the mix or only brought up for the solo. I found it to be distracting. It's probably the only guitar on this album that I think is distracting, but I absolutely love the guitars on this. They're simple, they sound good, they're just good.
Yeah, good for me. I actually like the overall, I don't want to say plainness of the album, but accessibility perhaps of the album. I know that the line, I'm not the first one to say it, has been drawn that they're more the working class Britpop versus Blur. And I think it really shows on this album, and I think they do it well. There are certainly songs on here. I mean, shoot, Don't Look Back. Is an anthem that has been sung in sports stadiums and it's like the Friends in Low Places of Britpop, right? So like they did that so well. Although, that full disclosure, that's also ugly for me. Don't Look Back in Anger is my least favorite song on the album. Hello, I love that they start off sneaky. Like it forces you to turn up your dial because you're like, wait, did I push play?
Oh yeah.
And then boom, the band is there. I think that's a really great way to start an album.
But let me ask you about that though, because that sneakiness, I did that exact thing. I turned it up and I was like, oh, that's fucking Wonderwall.
Yeah. Also,
like it's the guitar riff from
the
guitar riff from Wonderwall, right? So I thought that was odd that they started it that way, and then kind of did like a pump fake and went into something else, right? But I also thought that Cast No Shadow has a very similar intro sound as well in terms of like the acoustic guitar. But anyway, go ahead, Ryan. I interrupted.
I think Roll With It is also actually one of my favorite songs on the album. And I think the reason why was actually Liz, my wife, brought it up really quickly when it was coming on because I was listening to it today while we were making dinner. And she was like, oh, is that TVI by the Stooges?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, gosh, I think that's why I like this. The intro is just like the Stooges. So kudos to my wife for
and she clearly
pinpointing what I liked.
she clearly should have a podcast about this stuff.
Well, she has opinions.
I would have thought you wouldn't have liked that one, Ryan, because it's almost exclusively 1 to 4 chord progressions throughout.
I know, Drew. In terms of,
I'm just picking on you. Picking on you.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, no, I'm not wrong, but
no, I mean about me. And then also, She's Electric. I thought was interesting. It has a kind of like indie film vibe to it that I kind of liked.
She's electric. She's in a family full of eccentrics.
That said, I have more on the don't like side than the like side on this album. So let's keep going on the good.
Keep going on the good.
Yeah, I'll weigh in. To try to, I'm going to try to stay in my line here and stay with the good on the good, right? And then I'll do is that what we do? I have to therefore go straight to Champagne Supernova.
Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky.
To me, by the time we got there, I'm like, okay, I know this song. Comes in, I'm like, yeah, okay, I like this song. I did, and I really do like it. I was worried at the length of the song then. I'm like, what are they going to do now? Because I'll get into this in a bad, but I had some issues with that. And yet it delivered. And then it delivered more. And it really, 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 to me, is the pinnacle of this record. Whether or not it's the big pop ballad or not, I don't care. Because I wasn't into the whole thing. But it displayed not only great songwriting, but good melody by him, great singing, good playing. The guitars sounded good the whole album, but I didn't think they were deeply virtuosic, which doesn't always have to happen. But that was one of my concern or my issues I had with it. But in this, they did it right. They did it well. And we found a bridge for one of the first times on this record. We got a bridge on a song. And that helped propel that into these 6 freaking long minutes of this song. I didn't like how they ended it, but I think Champagne Supernova to me is, I mean, I'm a fan of the big three, the all big three songs I'm behind. I didn't hate everything else by any means, but I think those three were where they really did the best work on this record. So to me, that's the good. It's that easy.
Well, when you were talking about the guitars, the one thing I like about it, and I think was endearing to a lot of people, was with Blur and Parklife. I'm not a slouch when it comes to guitar. I sit down with anything long enough, I can figure it out. That would take me a long time to sit down and figure out. This album, I can put it on, and in 3 spins, I can figure out the chords. It's a lot easier to learn. So like if you're a young kid, young person new in playing guitar, you can put this on and figure it out. And you're going to like this album a lot more because you can do that. So
I mean, on any given day in 1995, 6, 7, you walk around a college campus and you're going to hear some fool playing Wonderwall.
Yep.
But that goes back to Ryan's kind of initial comment about it being accessible. I think Ryan, you were talking about that, right?
But my direct, I would have to. Can I blend this into the bad then, and just take the reign on the bad? Because I have to answer to Ron to come back. I've got to get in my bad here. I just don't want to blend our. Are we done with the goods?
I just a couple of quick things. Drew, you're absolutely right. I think Champagne Supernova for me is the high point of the album. It's my favorite song on the album, just because it's so eclectic. You've got like the weird intro with like the water sounds and stuff, and it's kind of vibey, and there's even some psych elements happening in there, I think, and it's just not like much else on the record, at least to my ear. I like She's Electric.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I need more, 'cause I'll be you and you'll be me.
I thought that it had of the rest of the album, that's the one that I'm like, oh, I could see Blur doing something like this. It had more of that kind of what I consider more of a poppy sound to it. Wonderwall.
I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Is it overplayed? Absolutely. Is it a good song? Yeah, it's still a good song in my book. It's not my favorite one on the album, but it's I think it's still good. I already talked about Hello and a couple of the other ones. There's some good things happening here. It's not the kind of, would I go out and buy this now? No, I would not. But it's something that it wasn't a chore to go through the listen, multiple re-listens here as we've been preparing for again a quick turnaround on this one, this week. So that's my good.
All right, Drew, hit me.
Yeah, go Drew.
All right,
unleash the hounds.
So it's not an ugly. Yeah. Well, it's not an ugly, but it's a bad. And I know you probably have already thought this too, Ron. You have to have. I understand it's accessible. I understand it's playable, blah blah blah. But let's talk in terms of guitar soloing. And I don't even know if these guys claim to be wonderful guitar players or not, as far as that goes. So maybe they don't care. But where this gets bad for me is because they make their songs so freaking long and they don't pay out. There's no lyrical interest to me. Like I said, they don't even have, in some cases, a C section or a bridge, and they don't have some awesome solo. So I don't know why they're making 5-minute long songs. To me, that's why you make 5-minute long songs, or at least you can justify it by then. So that takes me back to the playing. If you were to tab out some of these, solos or whatever, it would be really easy to do because they're not really, to me, definitive solos. It's just like noodling. You can hear him staying in the same box, like the same 2 frets just going do 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 do. Not even that fast, but and we all could do that, which is great. And I understand it. And I'm over criticizing their guitar playing, and I'm not even really a guitar player, but I have trouble with all of these instrumental breaks in this and you know what? Honestly, there was a lot of this in Blur too, but I don't know. It feels different. It feels like they just couldn't wrap it up. And the one time they did hit it and wrap it up was that short song you guys have mentioned a couple times, She's Electric. It comes in and it goes out. They weren't trying to make a solo section that didn't have a solo or whatever else. But yeah, that to me is the bad is their songs are too long and they don't fill them up with good stuff.
I can actually relate to that because most songs that I personally write are this simple and are 5 minutes long. Just because I tend to write longer chord progressions. Fucking they just are. And so that didn't bother me as much, but that's more because that's just me. So I kind of related to that.
That's fine. We don't have to agree.
Well, no, I thought that was the point of this whole podcast.
Fighting until we all get on the same page.
But and the other thing
there must be only one winner.
Okay, we'll be here for the next 7 days.
But this album reminds me a lot of the Lennon album we did, where if they would have taken more time for this album, it could have been more. And I understand, you have a goal and they're driven and all that shit. But if they would have just taken more time, write that extra verse, put some more thought into it, this could be a much better album. Also, if you take out the production techniques, for me, it rubs me so bad. But I think you're onto something, Drew, where there could be more out of this. There's bright spots.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't think this could have done better with
You don't?
more. No, I really don't. And I'm not saying I wouldn't appreciate those things, but I think, well, one, as we established in the rundown, album did fine. But two, some things are just what they are. And this, I wouldn't want to go back at this and be adding layers. I don't think anything helps. Nothing that I can imagine, and I've got a pretty good imagination, would make me like this album more with more studio time. I don't think that's the answer to this.
I accept that.
I was going to say, yeah.
But
I mean,
as a listener of details in those instrumental sections, you talked a lot about that, you in particular, Ryan, on the Blur album. I didn't find them interesting in this one. And I'm not saying there's two sides of that. Like Ron said, either go back in and make it better or make their stupid song 3 minutes like it should be and get it over with. I mean, take the song Cast No Shadow.
As they took his soul, they stole his pride.
It had verse, chorus, and then this weird instrumental section, and we're already 2 minutes into the song by the time that's done. That's crazy.
And also a terrible faux string arrangement.
Oh yes, that's I didn't even go there. But after that point, it just repeats it again,
Yeah.
and then it just repeats the last little hook they have. It just goes on and on for that for a minute. So what do we have here? Like, I came up with a verse and I mean, I've done it. Don't get me wrong. But that's my bad about the album. It's just these songs are way bigger than they should be.
Yeah, my major bad about
they
the
should be better.
album comes down to, we've talked about it on this podcast ad nauseum. That is, the central voice does not identify with me as that is not a narrator I'm interested in. Bert Q. Skeletor's voice.
Skeletor to King Randor! Skeletor to King Randor! Come in, you royal boob!
I feel
Next
like
time, He-Man.
what I hear is a whiny, bratty Skeletor singing to me, and it grates me. I find him irritating. I don't find anything endearing about his vocal quality, and that breaks me out of almost all the songs, especially the ballads, which are the hits. So we got Wonderwall, and we've got Don't Look Back, and Champagne Supernova, where I'm forced to listen to him croon at me, and I don't know. I'm not here for it. I don't want any of it.
I agree with that. That's why I said at the top, this plays for me like Dylan. I can't do the voice. It doesn't resonate. She's Electric is probably the closest to acceptable for me, but the rest of them, dude, I'm right with you.
Now, if as a band he was also dressed as Skeletor,
Why do I surround myself with fools? Even the robots are smarter than you!
and trying to be that, maybe
You simply can't be as good as Peter Gabriel, no matter how hard you try.
you can't. You're right, and you can't be as confident about how awesome you are and sound like that for me. But everyone attaches different things. I mean, gosh, how many people have I talked to who are annoyed by listening to Getty in Rush?
Living on a lighted stage approaches the unreal for those who think and feel.
It's one of the primary instruments of any band is the lead vocalist, and either you're in or you're out. When it comes to Oasis, I've always just been out.
Yeah, but they were huge. And Bert, you said you liked it, so tell us what you thought was bad about this record.
I will tell you what I thought. There's one big glaring bad for me, and that is Don't Look Back in Anger. That is just imagined by John Lennon. That's all it is. That's all it is. The piano hook, like right from the rip, I'm like, oh wait, I've heard this before. You know what I mean? And the infatuation's not the right word. The influence, the inspiration that these guys took from the Beatles, I don't fault them for that. The Beatles were a fucking awesome band, right? So take inspiration from that and do your own thing. But don't just repackage it and call it your own. Like, you know what I mean? Like you might as well cover Imagine and do a recording of that and be done with it.
I don't think quarterly it's that similar.
It's close enough.
But
I think it's closer to Paco Bell's Canon.
I do too.
The Blues Traveler hook.
That's a great call out.
Blues Traveler, yes.
And maybe that's what I'm associating with it, because that is so familiar.
I think,
but
Bert,
Yeah.
if I could help you along with that one, I think there's a time when I don't even know which chord it is in the progression, but it's probably the four chord major falls to the minor, and that's something definitely that he does in
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah.
And that is one of the better moments of that song too. But I agree, it's a you can't say it's stolen, but it certainly
Right.
is
Yeah.
a well driven progression.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys hear the story on how he got that song came about?
He was
No.
listening to Pachelbel's Canon D.
No, he was.
You know,
either-
you're gonna force me to drop in a clip of Pachelbel's Canon and D. You know that, right?
that
Might
was
as well
his
do
plan.
So that people know
Traveler
what we're
too.
talking about.
That was his plan from this top. He started this podcast. He's like, I'm going to make Burt drop fucking I can't talk now. The canon. Yeah, I know, right? So Noel Gallagher had read or listened to an interview with Lennon, and Lennon used the line, "Don't look back in anger," in the conversation. And he was like, I need to put that in a song. And that is
So
the
Lennon
inspiration.
Neat.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like direct from fucking Lennon's mouth, and that's how this song came about.
But see, like I was saying, that's okay. Like you're taking something, you're inspired from a previous artist that you're a fan of. You're inspired by something, and you take that and turn it. I mean,
but don't lift the chord structure or enough of the identifiable.
Yeah, it really, that's, now I'm getting in my ugly for that, so I'll save that comment. But I did have another chord progression that is funny here. Since Bert brought that up, go back and listen to Some Might Say. It's the first part of that song. I'm going to call it hypermeter, which is going to be kind of correct, but not really. But it's basket case.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
by
in-
Green Day.
Yes, in double time. So, but not double time. I'm speaking halftime.
It is.
Let's just call it halftime.
Oh my
So
god!
if you sing Basket Case really slow over the beginning, it's just that, I mean, they didn't steal it, but it's funny. It occurred to me. I'm like, man, this is straight up Basket Case, which arguably was released at the same time. They certainly didn't steal it, but it's fun. It's just a fun little thing, little Easter egg.
Oh my! I was just listening to it in my headphones here, and oh my gosh, you're not wrong, Drew.
If you're like, do you have the time? I'm probably not in the right key, but yeah, that was cool.
I think wasn't there another John Lennon lyric in that too? Wasn't the brains I had inside my head, wasn't that also based on a John Lennon lyric?
I don't know.
I think there was quite a
Because
few.
you said the brains I had went to my head. Wasn't that a?
I didn't go far in the lyrics with this
Oh
one.
shit, no. I think Ryan, you may be right. I think I may have gotten it wrong that that's the line he lifted. I'll have to
Oh.
go back and look.
Okay. I will say, in terms of their Beatlemania, and Bert, you talked about them selling out of shows. They announced their reunion tour, and
And
just
it
like
sold out. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, just like Beatles again. So here we have that U.S. bias, but they were so a part of the culture. It cannot be underplayed, the importance of this album outside of the United States.
Well, and I think too that and maybe that is one of the reasons that they got so popular in the UK is that they had that vibe, and it was almost patriotism in a way, right? I mean, Noel Gallagher on tour was playing a was it a Fender? I forget what kind of guitar.
Epiphone Riviera.
But he had the Union Jack painted on it, right? So there's very much a pride in your country kind of vibe to
Dude,
what
nationalism
they were
has
doing.
sold
Nationalism.
it's sold for hundreds of years.
And so
Absolutely.
that kind of British invasion aspect of things could be a big factor in why, maybe it didn't quite make it to the States on the first record, but hey, this record comes around and suddenly Americans are like, oh, we're ready for another British invasion or whatever. So
Bloody hell.
Yes, Ryan.
Is it? How are we going now? Is it results and ratings?
Yes, results and ratings is what's up next. But Drew, I know I don't want to miss out on what Drew's ugly was.
Oh, my ugly's simple. I won't blab on like I do. I know that, I can see your guys' eyes glaze over sometimes. The ugly is simply this crap about their fighting and their drinking, and it goes right into what we were just talking about. It's too much. You flew too close to the sun with this rebellious rock and roll musician crap. I don't buy it. I didn't buy it then, and that's why I stepped off after Wonderwall. I just didn't want to go to these guys because they seemed like more interested in their bad guy personalities than the fights when they were at shows, the canceled shows. Like everybody's doing those unplugs, like Ryan said, they blew that up. Why? Don't tell me. I don't believe for a minute that you're really fighting if you're in a functional group. I think it's all stage and shtick, and I don't like it.
It could be real. Could be WWE. We don't really know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions about that today.
Yeah. Results and ratings time. Ron, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
I will honestly give this album a 6.5.
Okay. That's
I won't buy it.
Yeah.
But I can't say that I'm gonna dog it with a shit score. So yeah. I will say I would rather go see them in concert than buy an album.
I think it would be a good concert.
I think a live show with them would be great.
I'm too old for that shit. My ears hurt.
Do you have the tinnitus, Bert?
Oh, bad. Real bad. I gave it a 7.5. Drew gave it a 5. Ryan gave it a 5. Average score then was a 5.83. And we ranked it number 52 out of 100. So, Ryan, Drew, you guys are sitting at 5s. Ryan, do you own it?
I do not.
Then I think you need to change your score. I'm kidding.
I will.
But,
I plan to anyway.
All right. So what the second chances? What are you guys thinking about your score?
This is definitely a 4 for me. I'd almost do 3.5, but I feel like that's just me not being its target. I think a 4 is very fair. I'd give it a 4. I'd drop it 1 point.
All right. Drew, how about you?
I will remain a 5. I went into it after a little bit. I said, man, I've really valued this album. And then after Wonderwall, I remembered why. And I did own the CD. I don't own the vinyl, but I own the CD, and I don't remember listening to any songs other than, if I even listened to it, period, Wonderwall. And so I remain as a 5. That's fine.
Was it a Columbia House?
That's what I think. I think I bought it like, oh yeah, I'll get these 10 albums and then I'll pay for this and I'll be legit this time and then I'll, make it right. But am I confessing things I shouldn't be?
No, I don't know.
They're still looking for you.
I'm sure what's it called?
Limitations.
Yeah, I was going to say the statute of limitations.
Once they get through everybody in the student loans, they're going to go straight for the Columbia House. Coming soon.
And we've done band names today. I feel like Statue of Limitations would be a good band name as well. But
that would be good. Like a nice speed metal. I like that. I probably would drop it a little bit. 7.5 I think is probably a little high for where I'm sitting at right now. But like I said, overall I enjoyed it, so I'm not too concerned about it. Hey, let's go to Margaritaville. If Oasis or What's the Story Morning Glory had a restaurant, a theme restaurant, a la Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, What would it be called, and what would the theme be?
I've got one, but just one.
That's all right. I only have two.
This, guys, it's the hot new restaurant in town. It's called Oasis. Okay, but here's the problem: they don't take reservations, and every time you show up, they're
closed. That's funny.
Are their advertisements really good? Like, it's going to be so awesome.
Everyone talks about how good it is, but when
Yeah.
you try to when you actually try to go,
Flavors you can't describe.
the staff doesn't show up.
That's good.
Flavors you can't
Ron,
describe.
Drew, you guys have anything?
No, flavors that you probably shouldn't describe.
Oh, I misspoke. Sorry.
You'll be encouraged not to describe.
I'm going to bring it into to my hometown because we do have a restaurant by this name, and it's located right on our beautiful lake, and the restaurant's called The Swamp, and they are a very growing in popularity dive bar, as it were. With the popularity of dive bars, they do some wings, they do some beers. Most of the time, you cannot access the little tiny bar that is it's a real bar building, but it's a shack, but it is in the middle of a swamp. You have to walk across a gangway to get into it. So, and that's not a built swamp. That's natural overrun from the lake. And so the swamp is my pick of the week. And it's a real restaurant. And maybe this will get them to give us a little advertising.
Yeah, right.
And me some free wings. Anyway.
All right, so I got a weed store called Roll With It because if you're gonna give me a softball, I'm gonna knock it out. And then I have a cheese shop called Way Now.
Oh, well done.
Nice, Ron.
Nice. I've got two. I've got a home cooking restaurant, and it's a question. Rolls with it? Like, would you like rolls with it?
So they always say that.
That's right. It's never a question when I'm around. There's always.
You are one hot buttered roll, Bert.
That's right. I've got a steakhouse called Don't Look Back in Angus. So.
Nice.
All right, guys. Hot take time. Who's got a hot take about Oasis or this album?
I got two.
Oh, good, because I don't have any.
Same.
Okay. The first hot take relates to my hot take with the Blur album. Now, you may recall I made a wild generalization about music history and a blank in the European, especially British, output for a number of hundred of years and how that related.
Yes, you mentioned Benjamin Britten. That was a good reference.
I did.
Yes.
And I've had time to sit on that. And my hot take number one is that was full of shit. So if anyone listened to that and thought, Ryan, there were all these other awesome things, you're absolutely correct. And I'm sorry. That's hot take number one. Hot take number two is specific to this album and specific to this band. And that is, I believe that Oasis at this time period is the Jason Aldean of Britpop.
Oh,
I'm very proud that I didn't know who that was when you held up your phone and showed us a picture of a dude.
That's okay.
So expand, Ryan.
I mean,
Just
here
like
we have
working
a
class kind of.
but only in theory, working class.
Right.
Jason Aldean has tons of money, has no connection with the working man at all.
Right.
Is writing anthems of patriotism on behalf of the working man and making tons of money off of them. That's Oasis.
Gotcha.
We lost Ron on that one.
no, you
Well,
didn't.
Anyway, I'm Jason, all done with my hot takes.
Good,
Oh God.
good segue.
How about you, Rondra? You got any takes?
I like the mea culpa, by the way. Yes, sometimes you got to get something off your chest. This is the part about being celebrity that's hard, is you say something and it's on record, and you need to clarify. I've often lost sleep about some things I've said on this podcast, and
I have lost sleep about stuff you've said on this podcast.
I'm sure you have. And you get your emails, you get your phone calls, but it's one thing. But you're inside your own head. It's a whole nother battle.
We haven't lost any sponsors yet, so that's the important part.
Yeah. I have two outtakes. One is, is anybody here Lost fans? The TV show with the airplane?
No.
Oh, you're all shaking your head. Dang it. Well, I'm asking now for a listener reply to our email, which Bert can display now or later, to see if you agree with me. I've always felt that the character Charlie from I just cut in and didn't let you say it. What is the email, Bert?
No. It's totally fine. Ryan was like, display? Like, this is not a visual.
Words.
It's 100 albums at bertaslow.com.
Okay, so write to that and tell me if you agree with me that the character Charlie from Lost, in his whole story arc, is complete Oasis story arc. I always felt that way then, and that's a curiosity.
Is he the one that has to push the button?
They all do. Wait, now we're getting into spoilers, so I'm not going to continue that
okay,
conversation.
because I've never watched it. I just know there's a button.
That's
Anyway,
fine.
and you're
Spoilers
and
from a
right,
show that's 20 years old.
and also
Man.
Oh my.
My hot take about this album directly is that if I look at this album as pop, I know they want to be rock stars, but if I look at it as pop, I can enjoy this album. When I think about it as rock, that's my whole issue with it. I'm like, nope, and then I start negative, but I don't have that much to hate about this album. I start nitpicking when I try to say when you're comparing yourselves to rock bands. But if I put it in the pop category, I could be like, hey, they're kind of edgy pop. Good. Yeah, fine. That's my hot take. And I walk away.
Mike, drop it. Please don't, because that was given to you by one of our sponsors.
Yeah, it was Toasty Toast.
Bert?
Yeah.
Nothing?
No, I don't have any hot takes this week. So.
Ron didn't do one. Did
Ron,
you have one?
anything?
No, I'm going punk rock. Fuck this.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, let's bring it on home, guys. Now, listeners, please go out and listen to What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis and let us know what you think. What did we get right? Or what did we get wrong? Or just give us some feedback. Please tell us you're listening. You can let us know what you think by writing to us at 100albums at bertaslow.com. That's 100albums at bertislo.com. You can follow along on Instagram and Facebook at 100albums podcast, or visit our website at 100albumspodcast.com to learn more about the poster, the project, and what all this nonsense is. Hey, join us next week, everyone. It's bracket time.
Season.
Nice.
We're gonna.
They
rock
talk
the
about
bracket.
March Madness, but no, we're gonna do August
Madness. That's right.
Wow, way to do nice calendar math in your head, Ryan. You could see it working.
I mean, we're not that far off. So
I know, right? Hey, did you put it up on the website, Bert? The bracket?
Not yet. No, but I will.
By the time this comes out, I'm
That's right.
sure
That is
we
correct.
have our stuff to
I've already got it built. It's made. And I'll distribute it to all of the platforms that I mentioned, and
Hey, don't forget YouTube.
it's gonna be great.
Bert, didn't you say
I'll
too,
never forget you.
Bracket 2 for season 2 is sponsored by Eucharistos, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so that'll be, if you download and print it at home, you'll probably have a little bit of that sponsorship money right there on how professional it
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time when we are doing the bracket.
Peace.
See ya.
I'm Bert.
I'm Drew.
I'm Ron.
I am wasted. No, just kidding. Oh, let's try again. I'm actually not. This is my first drink. I'm just being silly. Can we try it again?
Yes, we can.
Drew, for the fans, How did you escape from the hot air balloon?
Well, I see there was a sighting on Facebook just the other day. They posted pictures of it, and so I was able to, reach down and people were chucking ropes like over and over, chucking ropes, and caught one of them. And via reversed gravity, I was able to climb down to the
zip
ground.
lined.
And
You fell.
yeah.
That's reverse gravity. Is you fell out of the balloon with a rope.
And it's funny.
He took
when
off
you-
his belt and he put it up over that, slid all the way down.
when you fall on someone, it breaks your fall quite
That's
nicely.
nice,
so-
yeah.
Ah.
Hey, by the way, is chucking ropes? Is that that's a porn industry term, isn't it?
I don't
I
know,
was
Ryan.
going to say
is it?
Urban Dictionary, but
Like a
Bert, by the way,
euphemism? I don't know.
that podcast you turned me on to, and Liz picked out some. I listened to some more today. It is delightful.
Right. Yep. So
That's the one song podcast that Bert has brought up many times on our meetings. And the only reason I didn't listen to it, quite honestly, is I just didn't trust Bert's opinion. But Liz went ahead and tried it anyway, and then after listening to it, I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. So kudos to Eucharistos to knowing that one of the flavors has to be the blue flavor.
Is it raspberry?
Oh, with the ZZs or the P?
Yeah.
You know, Drew, the copy has the P.
Huh?
But,
Okay.
they're into P.
I mean, this stuff writes itself.
What? That was awesome.
oh my god, Ryan broke himself.
That was some great off the cuff, man. Ad lib it.
And not unlike this week's album and its connection to the Beatles, really. I mean, because, we have a golden shower sting your eyes. Okay.
Oh,
Well, that was fun. That was a good
That
little
was
ride anecdote.
nice break.